What's up, y'all? So we got to talk about what's going on in LA, the LA fires. And the question everyone is asking is this really God's judgment? I mean, you've heard almost every content creator either say this is part of God's judgment or is not. Now, do I think it is? No, because I really do believe that we're missing a lot of context here, especially when it comes to the understanding of what kind of agenda that we're dealing with. So let's just dive into it. Let's see what everyone else is saying. And we're going to have to start with the trending video that's been going everywhere and that's the Golden Globes. Example of mocking God.
Acceptance speeches have been on fire. Who got shouted out the most? Let's look at the numbers. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. No surprise in this godless town.
This is the view from an airplane from KTLA photographer Paul Sanchez as he's giving us an aerial perspective to the devastation in the Palisades.
And the acceptance speeches have...
Now, I'm going to play these other clips and then we'll just dive into it. Now, something a lot of people have missed is that the LA mayor, Karen Bass, she had cut fire department funding by $17.6 million. And this is months before the wildfires had turned to what it currently is today. And if you guys remember, Trump in his conversation on his podcast with Joe Rogan before he got elected, he mentioned that Newsom is not doing what he's supposed to do to prevent these wildfires from actually happening. And to make matters worse, a lot of people have been questioning, or I would say rightfully analyzing, the fact that a lot of arsons have been showing up, doing what they do best. I mean, in this video right here from Nick's Order, he says another man has been arrested for arson after he was caught actively lighting fires in LA County. And he successfully lit one fire, which could be seen from the freeway. And when the firefighters responded, they spotted him trying to light more. So it's not one of those things where we can just say, this is God's judgment. No, there's a lot of other things at play here that is not God. I mean, let's just be honest. And Liz Crocken, I don't know if you guys have been following her for quite some time, she links a lot of this to the Getty family. The Getty family and the Getty Museum and the issues pertaining to the underground tunnels that they have. And if you know anything about that, you should know what that is linked to. And that is linked to the big T word, trafficking. Right? So I want to go back and play this because this was a really emotional take.
This is unreal.
Of this guy.
Oh my God. My house.
Zaire Calvin and his family have called Altadena home for 3 generations.
Just wonder if anything's left. The rocking chair for the baby. I literally just built all of this.
Calvin, a high school football coach, has lived on this block his whole life. He has seen a number of wildfires flare up in the foothills, but never in his 47 years had he seen anything like the firestorm that swept off the mountain this past Tuesday.
And out of nowhere, you see the fire appear across Lake Street, and you can see it going up the mountain on our side within an hour. For it to move that quickly and that rapidly, and for it to shift paths that fast was insane.
So we see the devastation that a lot of people have been enduring through this fire. Now, I'm going to have to be the one to say it. I have to say it. This looks eerily familiar to what happened in Maui. Now, if you don't know anything about the 15-minute smart cities that they're trying to make and that they are going through, I want to play, where is Gavin? I think I had it right here, not too far. Here's Gavin Newsom, kind of speaking about what happened in Hawaii with the Hawaii Governor Josh Green about land use ideas. And then I'm going to get into the idea of the smart cities and their plan for LA. Right? And you hear him say that people are coming and buying up properties. I'm just going to play
days, not just weeks. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
So is this an act of God? In the full context of a lot of things that we're seeing, a lot of other miscellaneous information that we are getting, no, I can't in good conscience say this is an act of God. Because when we know what the overall plan is, we know it's not God. And so I'm going to play this portion, and this is their plan. This is what they call Smart LA 2028 for the city of Los Angeles. So I'm just gonna I think she does a great job of pretty much narrowing the whole idea of LA leading a smart city.
I figured now would be a great time to tell you guys all about Smart LA 2028. Smart LA 2028 was a plan released in 2019 to redefine and restructure Los Angeles in time for the 2028 Olympics. Smart LA 2028 has many key points, one primarily being the transportation infrastructure to go for a car-free Olympics. Don't just take it from me, however, take it from Ted Ross, the Chief Information Officer of LA.
As a 3-time United States Digital City Award winner, the city of Los Angeles has been investing in the infrastructure, the apps, and the data tools to be a globally recognized smart city. But as technology evolves, so our smart city must evolve too. That's why we have developed our Los Angeles Smart City Strategy, known as Smart LA 2028. Check it out here.
Key points that they're looking to improve are infrastructure and community engagement, which may be hard since there's no community anymore. Some constraints on this project are funding and budget constraints because infrastructure is very important and very expensive. And piggybacking off that, another hurdle is the aging infrastructure. Much of LA's infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and utility grids, were built decades ago and requires significant upgrades or replacement. They're going to have to replace a lot now. With that comes retrofitting challenges. Adapting existing systems to modern standards is often more complicated and costly than building a new infrastructure. How about that? It would be cheaper for them to just build new infrastructure instead of repair and fix the old. Traffic congestion. A lot of people living in LA means a lot of traffic. I guess it's kind of weird that a lot of people won't be living in LA now. Environmental concerns, because a lot of residents mean high carbon emissions from cars and high water usage, which we know LA is already struggling with the water usage because the firefighters said that there's no water to put out the fires right now. The hydrants are running dry. And as we know, wildfires are a big environmental concern. Regulatory and bureaucratic hurdles are a big concern as well because, it's going to be hard getting things approved when there's so many people living and working in LA. And stakeholder coordination. But I guess it's really not going to be that hard to convince people to fix a city that no longer exists. You're just building from the ground up, right? It's hard to get equity and public support because of gentrification concerns. Infrastructure improvements can lead to displacement in lower income communities, creating opposition to certain projects. But I guess there's not going to be much opposition now. And the digital divide. Technological integration, because integrating smart sensors to existing infrastructure is very complex. But again, I guess there's now not much infrastructure to have to work with. And public transit challenges because...
I'm going to pause right there. And I'm going to wrap the video up with this because I want to do a much longer video explaining this. This is part of the Great Reset. Smart cities, smart LA 2028, the restructuring of Maui, what happened there, it's part of the Great Reset. So this smart LA plan, once it's not new. And so I'm trying to be very careful, trying not to jump on the bandwagon of this is the judgment of God, because it's when you know the agenda, when you know the story, you can't say this is judgment from God. Anyways.
Because with everybody living in LA, converting everybody to public transit was an uphill battle. And project timelines were under constraints because so many people live and work in LA. I guess it's lived and worked in LA. Now that you mention it, I'm actually pretty sure that Lahaina was going through the same thing and faced the same issues, right? What a coincidence.
And Lahaina has the exact same plan that Smart LA has as well. So, the Great Reset. If you go to WEF.org, weforum.org, you don't have to go far. You just scroll down, you just read it. Just read what is it? What is the Great Reset? What is the UN sustainability goals? Sustainable development goals. This is one of those goals. You know, and so what we have in terms of what we're seeing with LA, what we're seeing with Newsom, can I, in my right mind, say that this is an act of God? I can't. There's a lot going on here that a lot of people are not trying to fully understand because it's a lot. As we sit here and we're really trying, and a lot of people are trying to do their best to kind of talk about the issue at hand, but it's way too simplistic just to say that it's an act of God, that it's judgment from God. Because if we understand the UN Sustainable Developmental Goals, when we understand the Great Reset, we can clearly see that what we're seeing is a step to destroying not just our culture, but restructuring it all together. Right? And so the best way to do that is I like to quote Yuri Bezmenov in his 4 stage to how to destroy a culture. And stage 1 is demoralization, stage 2 is destabilization, stage 3 is crisis, and stage 4 is normalization. And we are darn near stage 4. So the conversation that we're going to have moving forward is a conversation of what restructuring the world is going to look like. Whose image are we restructuring, or they attempting to restructure the world in? What is the new technocratic future look like? What do these smart cities consist of? Do they really want you to be part of that new system? And the answer is no. You know, Psalms 121, the Lord says that he'll keep us from evil. You know, he'll keep our life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. But this isn't him. This isn't the Lord. Matter of fact, this is so far from him that to say this is an act of God, I would say is extremely dishonest. It doesn't bring him glory. But we have to understand the agenda that we're technically in the middle of right now. But anyways, y'all get in my comments. There's a lot to talk about. But we'll chit chat soon. Peace.